Well, that, as they say, is a wrap. I'm in Santiago de Compostela. I'm settling into the Anglican Pilgrim Center. I'm in a temporary room for the moment, so it's a lovely little bed sit with bath and shower down the hall, um, and a sink in the room. Next, I think it's on Sunday when I officially become one of the on-call chaplains. I move into a room one floor higher with an ensuite. Frankly, at the moment, I'm glad to be one floor lower because I'm still finding climbing the stairs a little strange and testy. Um, it took me probably longer than it should have today, in part just because the heat of the day slowed me down, um, and I think the fact that one went all the way from Seguero to Formaris with really no opportunity to stop for anything, which I hadn't really expected. Um, I mean, the other day knowing that the last 12 kilometers to Segueros there was nothing, I kind of had prepared for that, but realizing that there wasn't anything in the first, 10 or 12 kilometers coming from Segueros, I had not really been prepared for. Or once you had left Segueros, um, I think I might have made some different choices. I might have stopped and had something in Segueros after the 2 or 3 kilometer mark, rather than anyway, whatever. One made it. I stopped a lot. I stopped several times. I think I mentioned in the letter I stopped and sat with a grandmother and her granddaughter at one point. When I put my backpack pad on, I put it on upside down, so everything in the side pockets, the water bottle, the sunblock, the sunglass clip case, all fell out on the ground, and I felt like quite silly. Anyway, then a brief stop at a Franciscan church. Probably should have taken a picture of that, but didn't think of it at the time. Got to Compostela. It was very confusing, or I found it confusing, to find the pilgrim office to get the Compostela. I've sent you a picture of that in the email, both the Compostela itself and the tube that I had to buy it. I didn't want to handle it with my sweaty, oily hands, so I sort of carted it over as delicately as I could to the gift shop on the premises and bought a tube and asked the girl to roll it up for me. Um, I then asked about getting a cab to the Anglican Center, and when we determined what the address was, she said that would be ridiculous. It would be very expensive for a very short walk, but a lot of it was up. And so I'm wondering whether I might have actually been prepared to pay the price. The funny thing is, I'd actually passed the Anglican Center on my way down to the Pilgrim office, but the signage. The signage needs work. The signage is a work in progress. It was originally a hostel called San Cristabel, and so it is still listed as that in many places, and that's still the main part of what's on the sign out front. So they're working on getting a sign in a similar style that would provide a more appropriate balance for these things. In any event, I've met the current chaplain, who is actually going to be here all of next week as well. So I'm actually not going to be on my own as chaplain. It'll be a two-person team. Father Patrick is one of the priest associates at the National Cathedral in Washington, D.C. You may remember that one as the one where Bishop Buddy preached the sermon that quite upset President Trump. Go figure. It's also the place, a lot of state funerals from there. I believe Jimmy Carter's funeral, or the main funeral, state funeral, George H.W. Bush, Barbara Bush, several presidents, John McCain, various folk like that. And those of you that are West Wing fans, that's where Mrs. Lanningham's funeral happened, and I think it's also where Leo's funeral happened, if you're a West Wing fan. In any event, here I am. It just feels so odd to be done. It felt really good to just turn off the alarm for tomorrow morning. I guess it doesn't really matter when I get up. The room is warm in the latter part of the day. I'm trusting it will cool off in the evening and be comfortable. Father Patrick says one of his favorite things about here is just being able to come and have breakfast and lunch outdoors here on the patio, which is where I'm sitting. Let me just give you a little bit of a sense of what this all looks like. Quite charming. And of course, there's much more to the house than that. in any event, I'm looking forward to this new phase of the adventure. I do intend to go to the pilgrim mass at the cathedral tomorrow. I'm hoping Fumero is going, um, and that I can get some footage of that to share with you. In any event, thank you all for your support. Thank you all for your prayers. Thank you all for your support to the Camino campaign. For those of you that were waiting for me to be finished, now's your time. God bless.